Yeah.
God be with you, lad.
Father, can I ask you about something?
Of course, Henry.
I thought since we drove Toth out of the province, things would be better. I mean, that the roads would be safer and so on, and, well, that's not entirely the case.
Ah, the naivety of youth. Driving him out of the province was only the start. He left a lot of cutthroats behind, and what's more, as long as there's a war going on, problems like this will...
Well, what can we do about it?
Not an awful lot. My garrison is a shamble these days. I lost most of my men in Skalitz, and what I'm left with after Pribyslavitz is hardly... let alone guarding the roads and patrolling the rest of the province. I simply don't have the men.
Uh-huh.
That is, I didn't have the men. As it happens, recently I asked an old acquaintance for help. Sir Kuno of Rickwald and his mercenary band. The men who ride with him are a rough lot, mostly former
Well, excuse me for being so bold, but there's plenty of mercenaries around. Surely you can find a more...
You have a point, lad, but I'd like to tell you I talked to Kuno because I trust him. But actually my reasons are of a more pragmatic nature. You see, Kuno owes me a favor, so he'll serve me free of charge.
So, you want me to join them?
Yes, but that's not all. I told Kuno I'd send him a guide, but really what I need is for someone to keep a close eye on him and his men. Someone go and report to him at his encampment. You'll ride with his band on patrols and make sure they don't get...
Who is this Sir Kuno of Rickwald?
He's the last baron of the House of Rickwald, which became impoverished. So he took to the mercenary trade, like many poor noblemen do, unless they become robbers, which often isn't all that different. He's certainly an entertaining companion, but as a mercenary, well, let's just say...
That sounds a little worrying.
Oh, it's nothing too bad. Just that now and again he needs reminding not to step...
How is he in debt?
I did him quite a big service, actually. I saved...
Oh, that sounds like quite a story.
You should ask him. You'll be spending quite a while riding together, so it'll help pass the time. But one thing I can tell you, he seems to have taken inspiration from me. A lot of his men had their own encounters with the Executioner too.
All right.
Excellent. He set up camp between Ratai and Ledechko. It's a good base for covering the province. Good luck, Henry.
I will, sir.
Good luck, then.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I'll be with you. I'm looking for Sakuno. Sakuno? Baron Rickvold. Isn't this his camp?
You won't get nothing out of him. You must be Radzig's man. I heard he was supposed to send someone.
Yes, Sir Radzig sent me as a guide. I'm Henry.
I'm Jakey. And this here fella, we call the Stone.
I can see why. What's up with him? Cat got his tongue?
No, more like the dog got it. The executioner's dog. When the executioner ripped it out of him. Anyway, you better come along with me. I'll introduce you to the other fellas. And the chief. These here are the Bearman brothers, Petter and Jan. They're a barrel of laughs, except when they're too drunk to string two words together. Like now. Don't get on the wrong side of them, though. When their blood is up, well, it ain't a pretty sight.
Pleased to make your acquaintance, I'm sure.
Never mind the fancy poses, Stefan. You're trying to kill the fucker, not teach him how to dance. And you, Dangler, stand your ground. Don't let him lead you round by the nose.
Sir? Well, sir, this is Henry. From Lord Kobula.
Ah, it's about time Radzig got round to this. We need someone who knows their way around these parts. Leave off with the bowing and curtsying. We don't hold with that tomfoolery here. Jakey! Where the hell are you sneaking off to? Go to the farm and get water. The lads are thirsty.
But I went last time.
And you'll go next time, you ungrateful pup. Get your ass moving. Snot-nosed brat. You pull them out of a pile of shit, and they thank you with back talk. Where were we? Oh yeah. We need a guide who knows these parts. So I hope I can rely on you, Herman.
It's Henry.
Right. Well, as I said to Radzig, I don't want to carry any dead weight. We could find ourselves in some very tight situations where every sword counts.
I know how to handle a sword, all right?
I've heard a lot of fellas say that. They still ended up on the wrong end of one. We'll find out. Stefan, take a break. Dangler, let's find out what Harold here can do.
Sure. No problem, Chief.
You didn't fare badly at all, I must say. You can ride with us.
All right, good. Thanks.
Don't thank me yet. You don't know what you're letting yourself in for.
Sir Kuno, can you tell me something about yourself?
Drop the sir. That title brought me nothing but grief. But what do you want to know?
What about your debt to Sir Radzig? How did that come about?
A twist of fate, lad. I was fighting in the hostilities between the House of Schallenberg and the town of Colleen. Some trade dispute it was, and I fought under the Schallenberg colours. In the end, the two sides negotiated a truce, and I rode to Colleen with the delegation that was to parley there. We stopped off at an inn on the way, and it was there that I met Radzig Kobyla. I could tell at first sight he was a man after my own heart. A likeable rogue with a sharp... We spent the whole night drinking together and talking, and in the morning we set off together with sore heads, but in good temper, since he was travelling. Only, once we reached the city gates, they arrested me on the spot. Seems the burghers had it in for me, since I'd been making their... On the other hand, I was a member of the peace delegation, so by rights, they shouldn't have even looked at me sideways. And then it hit me why Radzig was there.
I see. So he was on the other side.
That's right. Anyway, they threw me in a dungeon, and a few days later word reached me that the Schallenbergs had reached an agreement with the burghers. And I'd surely have ended my days swinging from the town battlements if it hadn't been for Radzig. He liked me, and he...
Lucky for you.
Indeed. I owe my life to Radzig, and I'll never forget it. He's asked me twice before for help.
What about your...
In the end, I could tell at first. We spent the whole night drinking together. Only, once we reached... On the other hand, Colleen is a royal city. So he was there to represent the king's interests.
I see. Sir Radzig told me the Rickvold family...
There's all sorts of ways to become impoverished. Nothing easier. Especially when your father's a fool.
Oh.
But it's a long and twisted story. We took our name from Rickval Castle, but that actually belonged to the convent of the Poor Clares in Tynitz. You see, he knew the abbess there since they were young. Knew her very well. There was even talk that she only joined the order because her family wouldn't let her marry him. Anyway, whether he was fucking her right there in the convent, or he just took a lot of interest in scripture, he spent an awful lot of time in...
Oh, he might have been after a bit.
Sinning and confessing all in one place. Well, anyway, my mother never had strong nerves. Truth be told, her sanity was always shaky. Then, one frosty December morning, I was woken by screaming and smoke. I looked out the window, and I saw my mother there, in the courtyard, wreathed in flames.
Christ, that sounds like a...
Hellish it was, I can tell you. Me and my sister Adela and a few servants managed to get out before the whole place went up. I couldn't get to my father, or my little brother. My sister and I were left destitute after the fire. But then my cousin, Adam of Drevich, took us into his castle. A few weeks later, he offered to buy what was left of our estates and sell me a small fortress near Akovnik. It was a great relief. We suddenly had some hope of a future again. So I told my sister about it. And it was A week later, the two of them announced to me they were getting married. And all that was left of our estates, lands, woods, villages, Adela...
But surely that was for you to decide. You were the head of the family.
Aye. Only I barely had 17 years under my belt, and I'd just lost everything. course, I argued with them. And that was the only excuse they needed to kick me out of Drevich too.
That's pretty harsh.
You're telling me. But I'm not complaining. As my pa always used to say, if you could turn your hand to something...
I'd like to ask about your men.
Ask away.
What about the fellow they call Dangler?
I've never ridden with a better man, I can tell you. He doesn't say a lot, but for that, he listens all the better. Nothing escapes him.
So he scouts for you?
Not just that. It's happened more than once. I was closing a deal with someone, and Dangler told me after that he didn't like the nearly every time he was right.
Those Bearman brothers are quite a pair.
Indeed they are. There's no more mercy in them than in, well, a bear. If I told them to skewer you...
Jesus.
Oh, aye. They'd argue first about which one of them got to do the job. But they're as obedient as a huntsman's dogs. Real soldiers. As long as they don't get too drunk. Then there's no keeping them under control. But...
What can you tell me about Stefan?
Fletching? For one thing, he's a very resourceful fellow.
How did he come to join your band?
Well, let's just say he was in the right place at the right time.
What exactly happened?
Sorry, I'd love to tell you the whole story, but I'd be betraying his trust.
Oh, now you've got me curious. Maybe I should ask him.
Sure, why not? Our Fletch does love...
What about that dumb one? How did he end up with you?
The stone? Oh, he just kind of tagged along.
Just like that?
Aye, just like that. We were riding from Olomouc to a castle past Kladsko. When we ran in, you know how it goes. We made acquaintance with them, had a drink or two. Then we travelled on to...
I'm not sure I'd be thinking that if I ran into you lot on the road.
We might have done some things I ain't proud of. But wayfarers are sacred even for me. Anyway, our fellow travellers dropped off along the way. One in Mohelnitz, one in Schoenberg. Except for the stone. He stuck with us the whole way. The fellas kept asking him what he was after. But of course he never said a word. When we were approaching Barsdorf, I ordered the men to get rid of him. I had some business at the castle, and I didn't want any strangers sticking their noses in. Stefan tried to tell him nicely, but he just sat there, staring like he was turned to stone. That's when we gave him the name. Then the Bearman brothers tried to get him off his horse. He booted Jan in the face and knocked him out cold. Then he jumped down and fell pet. A man who can do that is a man you want on your side.
Weren't you worried about having a stranger in your band? Especially one who didn't talk.
No, I figured if you can't talk, you can't tell. Besides, I've had worse.
What about Jakey?
Jakey, that boy will be the death of me. You've got to be tough on him, or he's good for nothing. But I'm fond of him, in a way.
Like a son?
I wouldn't go that far. But I've no family of my own. And
You're pretty hard on him, though. And the others keep him on his toes, too.
a boy needs a firm hand. I was like him once, and I got the same too. If we let him be, we'd end up with a third bear man. And who'd want that?
True. 2 is more... Should we ride out?
Aye, we ought to set out on patrol about now. Hope you've got your kit ready and whatnot. I'd like to head to the north. Is there anything interesting that way?
North of here, Samapesh and Merhoyed are that way, and Talmberg is a bit further on. There's stables in Merhoyed.
I wouldn't mind paying a visit to those stables. We can go through there.
And from there?
From there, we'll follow our noses. Something interesting is sure to turn up. I feel it in my bones. Mount up and let...
Sure. Chief.
fine day, eh, brother?
Indeed, brother.
You know what I like best about days like this, Jan?
The scent of chamomile wafting from the hillsides.
Among other things.
Ah, like the rounded hills, rising, perky, all soft and pink in the sunlight.
And the fertile valley below, spreading wide and inviting.
Dew glistening in a mossy hollow.
The sweet aroma of honey in the air.
The sturdy poplar, standing tall and erect.
Aye, it reminds me of that day. That day when the two of us fucked Fletcher's ma.
Very droll. You'd make a stuffed bug laugh.
Your ma's a stuffed bird. I stuffed her myself.
I can't smell any chamomile.
Well, men, how are things?
May I?
Yes, Fletch?
How shall I put it? I'm a little concerned about the prospects in these parts, Chief.
Oh? How's that?
I've been looking around, and if you'll pardon me, it seems to me that we've been stuck for a long time in the arsehole of beyond.
It's not Paris, France, I'll grant you.
What I mean to say is, I haven't got any new kit or arrows since the day Jakey joined us. It makes me uneasy, Chief.
I see. What about the rest of you?
I don't know what Fletch is moaning about. There's plenty of booze and loose wenches nearby.
Not to mention fools in the taverns who don't know when to stop rolling those dice.
Dangler?
It's the arsehole of beyond everywhere we go. And it always makes me uneasy.
Jakey?
Fletch can complain. I was supposed to get a suit of armor, and all I got was a shitty kettle hat.
Sorry, but they don't do hauberks in girl sizes.
Oh? Well, how did you get yours then?
All right, I appreciate your honesty, lads. Don't worry, there will be plunder.
I feel quite hungry.
We're here to fight. The victor the spoils. That's how it's always been. But no purse of silver will shed blood for you on the battlefield. That's what this company is for. And I hope you never forget the golden rule. You can joke all you want, moan all you want, but nothing will keep your skins in one piece better than trusting your leader, who you choose by your own free will. So don't ever forget that.
Amen.
Chief, there's something going on over there. Let's go! Behind me, and keep your eyes peeled.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
What do you think we can expect this time, fellas?
Groschen, hidden in a piss pot under the
Yeah.
bed. A nice chunk of beef.
Yeah.
No one there will be eating.
On account of it'd just fall Yeah. out through the holes in their bellies, eh, brother?
Yeah.
My mouth is already watering,
Yeah.
brother, and I ain't even touched a purse yet.
Yeah. 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 Poor old Fletch. Never gets to see the action from close up.
What about you, Dangler? What do you expect to find? Futility in human suffering.
Still smouldering. Whoever torched it can't have got very far.
Good fella. That's my boy. That's a good...
Poor wretch. Kuno will want to know about this. Jesus Christ, what a massacre. Looks like it happened fast. God almighty. They weren't even armed. I found this shield in a shed along with a letter. Seems like someone left us a message.
Show me that. I know that crest. It's the House of Zul. A dangerous lot, God's truth. I don't think we'll find anything else here. We'll stay here a while, just in case. And you should go and report...
What do you know about these Zuls?
A family of impoverished nobles. They fought in the Margraviate Wars in Moravia. But what they're after in Bohemia, I've no idea.
I'll ride out right away.
Go. Ride like the devil. If they openly left a message like that, then I reckon there's...
Yeah. No signs of resistance. They simply slaughtered them like animals. They turned the place over good and proper. Poor creature. Hunted down like game. Looks like they carried away a lot of stuff. went this way. Seems they met some resistance at the farm. There they are.
Who's there? What's going on there?
What have we got here?
Gone weak at the knees, have you? Take that.
It's false.
I'll wring your neck. Come on!
Come here, little.
Bring it on.
Ow! Oh, get it!
Christ!
Oh dear, that hurt. You've got to be kidding.
Hey! Well, look what...
Bring it on!
You'll get it. Yeah. 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 I tracked down those raiders.
You did?
But they were a short way off to the east, in the woods, dividing up their loot.
Were? They're gone now? Which way?
Down. To hell, where I sent them.
What? Jesus, Henry. Are you out of your mind?
Well, I took advantage at the moment of surprise.
Christ above, I've met some mad bastards in...
Yeah. Yeah.
Welcome, Henry.
God save you.
Good luck, then. Let's have a word about...
We... What? Yeah!
God be with you, lad.
Sir,
Top.
no, this is something else, sir. We found a...
I know that coat of arms.
There was a letter there, too.
Show it to me. Although I think I already know what it will say.
Here you are, sir.
Unscrupulous beast. Cruelty and malevolence. I challenge you to face me in a duel, defend your honor.
Someone there.
An ignominious wretch? Well, that's nice. Signed, Hagen Zul. As I expected, old grievances coming back to haunt me.
This Sir Hagen wants to challenge you to a duel.
Apparently, he still hopes I will agree to this kind of outmoded solution to disputes.
But surely you can't refuse a challenge to a duel. What about your honor?
Henry, my boy, honor is a splendid thing, and it should be held in high regard. But in time, you'll learn that some matters are not so straightforward.
Like this one?
Yes, like this one. The only reason Hagen is challenging me now is that he has a marked advantage. I've served as the royal hetman for the last 15 years and become a courtier. Hagen, meanwhile, was fighting in the Margraviate Wars in Moravia and elsewhere as a mercenary. Which of us do you think would win a duel? That's not honor, but an abuse of honor. Commonplace opportunism. I don't blame him for trying, but I'm not such a fool as to play by his rules.
What happened between you and Sir Hagen?
That's a long story.
Well, I'd like to hear the whole story, sir, if you wouldn't mind.
Very well. It began in the first year of King Wenceslas's reign. He sent me to resolve a dispute between the Zuls and a neighboring house. It concerned land boundaries. The Zuls had refused to accept the ruling of the land court. His Majesty's position was a little shaky after his coronation. So a decision was made in the royal court to take radical action against any dissent in the kingdom. Since the Zul family was defying the king, we were obliged to punish them. Harshly, as the circumstances demanded. The head of the family, Hagen's father, was hanged. Their castle razed to the ground.
So, they're out for vengeance. But you acted according to the law.
Would it were that simple, lad. I was young and didn't realize the repercussions it would bring. For one thing, the king didn't use it to strengthen his position. On the contrary, he took less and less interest in such affairs.
How come?
Because he realized things would eventually sort themselves out. He promoted me to royal hetman, leaving him to pursue other interests. Secondly, my actions essentially created another band of robbers. When you strip a nobleman of his property, you can't expect him to take to begging. And thirdly, I wasn't aware at the time that the other party to the dispute was distantly related to me. Naturally, that made it look like I was acting in self-interest. If I'd known what I know today, I'd have been a lot more circumspect.
Well, what are we going to do about this?
You and Kuno's band will just have to deal with Hagen and prevent further mayhem. The longer he's marauding around these parts, the greater the chances that I'll finally have to succumb to his conditions.
So you'd fight him, if it came to that?
Let's hope it doesn't come to that. But maybe there's something else behind this challenge. Maybe it's coin he's after. Who knows?
All right. We'll deal.
I'm sure you will, Henry.
I'd like to ask something about...
Sure. Good luck, then.
Hey, you! What are you doing? Fuck off before I lose my temper.
Yeah. Yeah. What is it, Jakey?
The stone wants to talk with you, if you can call it that. Probably about that ring.
What ring?
Ah, no one told you about it. The fellas call it the Ring of Bacchus. It's a kind of game we play. Kuno gave us this ring. It's just a worthless bauble. But when we're at the tavern, Kuno pays everything for the man who has the ring. So we steal the ring from each other and try to trick each other. Well, actually, just the others. They won't let me play. Kuno says I'm too young to get boozed up.
That sounds like a lot of fun. But I don't have the ring.
He probably wants you to steal it from someone. Since you're new, the fellows will talk to you, and it won't be suspicious.
All right. I'll have a word. Hey, Jakey, can you tell me?
Want to get matey, eh? Sure, Henry. What do you want to know?
How did you end up in Kuno's band?
Well, I used to be a baker's hand in Prague, but all the other fellas were always on my back, always swearing at me. Sometimes they even beat me up, took everything I had. To make a bit of coin, I started going to the tavern across the road, entertaining the rich gents with jokes, playing the fool. Sometimes someone would throw me a half-groschen. One time, Kuno turned up there, and I got to talking with him. When I told him all the shit I was getting at the bakery, he offered to take me with him.
I bet you were glad to get out of there.
Yeah, though it's not like they give me much peace here either. It's all,
Jakey, come here. Jakey, go there. Jakey, get that.
Well, surely you can't be any worse off here than in the bakery.
no. Only, at the bakery, the worst I ever got was a beating. It's not like my life was in danger. But here, when those Beerman brothers are drunk, I have to keep well out of sight.
Well, surely you can't...
No.
Well, surely...
No. Only, at the bakery, the worst I ever got was a beating. It's not like my life was in danger.
How come they bullied you at the bakery? It's usually the shy ones bullies pick on. That's not exactly you.
Not now, maybe. I learned a thing or two since then.
Oh, come on, you, shy? You just said you were playing the fool and...
All right, I'll tell you the truth. They picked on me because I'm an orphan. The parish priest of St. Apollinaires in Prague found me as a baby in the church one winter's morning. I spent half my childhood in parish houses and half on the street.
I see.
It still is tough, I can tell you that.
What do you think about this business with Hagen Zool?
Zool? Huh. I'd rather keep that to myself. But since you're the only one who's interested in my opinion, I'll tell you. I reckon Radzig's making a big mistake. I might not be grown up yet, but I've walked in these shoes long enough to know that asking a mercenary to do something for nothing is stupid.
Wait, what are you trying to say?
Never mind. It's just a feeling I have. If Kuno heard me talking about it, he'd tan my hide.
All right, we'll drop it then.
Got your eye on some nice wench? True. There ain't many redheads in these parts. Remember those three sisters in Colleen? What were they called again? Yeah, and Kutka. One blind, one deaf, and the other dumb. And we could only get the blind one to go for you. Poor lass. Probably took you for an idiot. And you're the only one of us who can read and write proper.
Can you tell me something about yourself, Jan?
Why not? I haven't been to confession for a while.
How did you end up in Kuno's band?
It's nothing new for me and my brother. We've been fighting for coin. Last time we rode with one Lombardian by the name of Collini. All over Bavaria, Austria and that.
What happened? Did you fall out?
Nah, we just wanted to come back to Bohemia. You know how it is. Where no one understands a word you say, it ain't worth a damn.
You and Petr seem very close.
As brothers should be, lad.
To tell the truth, I'd never have guessed the two of you came from the same mother.
Oh, we've got the same ma, all right. I ain't got no ma, and neither does he. And the same goes for our pa. It's probably Satan himself.
Oh. I'm a bit confused. You're not actually brothers?
We might be. We might not. A band of mercenaries found us in a village when I was still a baby, and Petter hardly walking. Playing in the dirt together we was. Their leader took a shine to us for some reason. He took us away and raised us up. Raised us with swords for playthings and ale for mother's milk. A few years later, he was killed in Saxony. The band fell apart, but we joined another right away. That's the way it's been, ever since, over and over.
So you two never had... well,
A normal life. We ride from one fight to another, risking our necks and killing who they pay us to kill. That's normal for us.
what do you think of...
That's a very tricky matter, I can tell you. Them Zulls are well known among us mercenaries. Hagen and his two brothers fought in the Margraviate Wars. That's quite a feather to have in your cap. But on the other hand, they've got their weaknesses.
Like what?
They still like to think of themselves as high and mighty lords. Kuno got over that, thank Christ, and he treats us all like equals.
You think Hagen's men have no great love for him?
Well, I'd say they're running before his whip more than following his flag, if you understand me.
Aye. I see what you're getting at. Can you tell me something about yourself?
What do you want to know?
Why do they call you Dangler?
Because Kuno found me dangling on the end of a rope.
Ah, I see. So, he saved you from execution?
I wouldn't call it an execution exactly. At the time I was squire to the Lord of Buzitz. There was a proper knight for you, full of ideals and honour. I looked up to him as a hero. Then in one skirmish he was killed, and the foe took me captive. They stood me on a shaky wooden cross with my hands tied behind my back and a noose around my neck. For amusement. Then they rode off laughing.
But how long were you stuck there?
I couldn't tell you. Hours, maybe days. In the end everything started going black. I could feel the devil pulling me down by the legs.
Jesus! How on earth did you survive?
I didn't. When Kuno found me, he says I was dead as a doornail. They cut me down and took the rope off me. Then someone gave me a kick and I coughed and came back to life. Sort of.
What do you think about this...
Hagen Zull? Who's that?
that robber baron who's been pillaging Sir Radzig's estate? Didn't Kuno tell you?
He did. But then he says a lot of things. Zul, Radzig, Sokol and Hinek of Kravan, Wenceslas, Sigismund. It all ride somewhere, kill some fellas, have a drink and go to sleep. If you're lucky, it won't rain while you're at it. That's all.
Jakey sent me to you. Something about a ring?
Mm-hmm.
I suppose you want me to get it from someone?
Mm-hmm.
Who has it? I didn't quite... Is it fletching?
Mm-mm.
Jan Behrman?
Mm-mm.
You mean Kuno? Does Dangler have it? All right. How should I get it? Stefan,
What is it you want to know, youngster?
what do you think about this business with Hagen Zul?
I'd say you and Sir Radzig are very fortunate to have Kuno on the job. He's a master at that.
Is he? Why's that?
Dealing with bastards like Hagen Zul demands both courage and sharp wit. It's not a commonplace combination, but Kuno has both in abundance.
I'm curious how you ended up in Kuno's band.
You noticed I don't exactly fit in with this pack of felons and reprobates, huh? Unfortunately, you can't always choose your company, can you?
No, I suppose not. But how did you come to be with them?
Oh, well, I'd love to tell you, but Kuno insisted we keep that between the two of us. And I'm not one to break a confidence.
Oh. But, well, Kuno said it was you who wanted to keep it secret.
Really? Are you sure about that? You must have misunderstood him.
No, I don't think so. At least... Oh, no.
I used to live in a town before. Back there I was doing something very different. Although... No.
Actually, I haven't the foggiest idea what you mean. You don't give anything away.
Me? I'm an open book, lad. Ask me...
Maybe another time.
As you wish. Shame, though. There's nothing...
I've been to see Sir Radzig.
So how did he take the news?
Well, he wasn't exactly happy about it.
I can well imagine. I wouldn't want the Zul's plundering my estates either. If I had any.
He wants us to carry on patrolling the area. There's nothing else for it.
That makes sense. I don't think he'll come to us. So we'll just have to hope we run into him. I'd like to check out the big forest to the north, and then carry on via Uzhitz.
Sure.
Mount up then, and let's go.
Please, can we stop for a bit? My arse is aching, and I've such a thirst I could drink a moat dry.
Same here. What do you say, Chief?
Not to worry. We'll reach Uzhitz soon. We'll spend the night there.
I heard they've got a peculiar priest there. They say he drinks like the devil himself.
There's nothing strange about that. Every other man of the cloth is a swill pot.
Or a lecher.
Or both.
Quiet. Listen.
For the love of God, help! Please, sir, help me.
Don't worry, lass. Nothing to fear. We're with Sir Radzig, in the manner of speaking. What's the matter?
These brigands came. The menfolk fled and left us there. They started pillaging the place, drinking whatever they could find and smashing things. I ran off, but the other girls... You've got to save them. Please, I beg you.
Easy, lass. Drinking, you say?
Aye, sir. They rolled the casks into the courtyard and started swilling like pigs from a trough.
Well, as our old cook used to say, if you want to make a proper goulash, you should soak the meat in ale for a while to soften it first.
Ah, let them get well soaked, and then go and chop them up. Good thinking, Chief.
But what about the girls? Those men, they were...
I'm sure your friends won't be getting nothing they ain't had before.
Well, unless they be nuns.
Kuno, the girl's right. If we delay, her friends will pay the price for it.
I appreciate your advice, Henry. But it's caution that'll keep you alive, not chivalrous deeds.
You promised Sir Radzig you protect his fiefdom, and that means his subjects too.
Come on, it's not like their lives are in any real danger. Hagen's men just want a bit of fun.
A bit of fun? Are you fucking serious? You know very well, Kuno, how innocent girls can end up after a bit of fun with animals like that. Well, I, for one, am not going to sit back and let it happen, even if I have to creep in there myself and try to rescue them.
Oh, all right. It's not the smartest thing to do. But let's go and tackle those fuckers if that's how you want it.
Good. Thanks.
Right. We better try and save those girls from Hagen's brutes. Let's go!